Is that all right? That's shocking.
Another professional star.
I've got the only other hoodie I've got is my Kart Mums hoodie.
We'll stick with the Alpha. Bumpdraft episode number 2 is here. Thank you very much to everyone who listened, watched, commented and everything on the first episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching, having watched the first episode, we're hoping you've enjoyed it. If this is your first time watching, then welcome. Welcome. As always, my name is Piers Breyer. I'll be hosting today, and I think we'll start with some introductions and some apologies. My voice doesn't always sound like this. I have literally in the last half an hour arrived home from a stag do that I should have arrived home from yesterday, having had flights cancelled. The bags under my eyes are worse than normal. Any more introductions and apologies?
I've been ill, so apologies for the croakiness of the last 4 races of Shennington on Sunday. I thought it was just because I'd commentated too much, but no, it turns out I've just had airport lurgy or something of that description. What's your problem this week?
I fell asleep in the car whilst waiting for Piers to get here, dribbled on my Alpine Stars hoodie, which was good, and then I stole your job next weekend at Trent Valley Car Club. Hello. So I'm
Welcome
sorry.
to the commentators community.
Sorry.
Yes, amazing. There we go. Andrew Mather, Henry Beaudette, thank you once again for joining us. We'll start this with, as we always will do going forward, a bit of an introduction. What's coming up? We've got the Trackside review from currently Trent Valley Kart Club and Wilton Millers, our 2 SlipStream broadcasts. As we've just heard recently, if you've been keeping on top of things, SlipStream is having more content coming soon. Saturdays of Super 1 are now going to be on SlipStream this year, so more content that didn't exist last year thanks to SlipStream, so thumbs up from my part there. Siri getting involved in the podcast.
That's Siri talking to me and saying, sorry, it doesn't want to listen to Super 1 on Saturdays. It's got better places to be.
Okay, sorry, Siri. Sorry. We'll do the Trackside review, chat a little bit about that and how that went down. Henry, you were commentating on both of those, so that should be fairly easy. Then some unpopular opinions. They went down last month. Thank you very much for your opinions. I haven't had a chance due to my flight rearrangements and stag do's to vet Henry.
You haven't had a chance because you were too busy in places in Portugal of ill repute with 8 bottles of Jägermeister under each arm, Piers. Let's be fair.
Slander. Unpopular opinion. Then we've got the Phonebox. Last time we had DJ Anthony Jordan joining us. This month we've got a special guest who will remain anonymous until I call him. Hopefully he's about. The comments section, which is your opportunity as a viewer to get involved. We've had some good comments over the last month, both on the Bumpdraft podcast and also throughout the Alpha Live sphere, karting sphere. And then a caption competition where you've submitted some of your captions, some of which I think were, I don't know if anything actually caught up with Henry's. Henry's was really quite good off the cuff. And then we'll have a Cooldown Lap where we look ahead to the next month. And then that'll be pretty much it. The goal is to go less than an hour, because last month was long. We're already 4 minutes in, so let's get things moving.
We can do this. We can
attempt to, that's all we can do. Trackside review. Let's start with Trent Valley Kart Club, as that was the first SlipStream event of this previous month. Henry, what are your talking points, takeaways, anything?
It was the Winter Warmer Cup?
Yes.
It was the Winter Warmer Cup. Let's have a little look there. Yes, it was. We had 220 entries. And believe it or not, it was the first club event that I've ever done at PF International. So it was good to be there. Another frantic day's racing. I was impressed, again, with the amount of good racing. I mean, let's be fair, it went well until the last race. The last race was Junior Rotax final, and not everybody covered themselves in glory. It all got a little bit on the junior side of things, but it was a very, very good day's racing. Jared Fox Whiteley, a star, he inherited. It was one of those races. I'm third going into the last lap. The top 2 are battling, and yes, the third place driver comes out victorious when the top 2 take each other out. Teammates, by the way, at the Fullerton S's. Denny Babachek was there. He won as well. So did Lewis Bird in Senior X30. Teddy Cooper was a new winner in Juniors because he survived. Teddy Cooper in Junior Rotax survived, behaved, and won. James Roots dominated. Mason Hibbert dominated as well. It was a good event. I mean, I was just looking at the things that, there was 8 classes, 220 drivers. Wilton Mill yesterday, 10 classes, 260 drivers. But then elsewhere this month, we had Kimbolton in March, 8 classes, 224 drivers. You were at Shenington.
249 drivers.
Capped entries.
Capped entries, that was,
But that was 10 classes, 250 drivers, and then the kart championship at Warden Law. That was the weekend Alpha were covering that. 250 drivers, again, in 8 classes. So there's 5 big events in the last month. Each of them has had, around 250 plus drivers in it, which is really good.
And even though there will be some overlaps, it's not
of course,
not full overlap. So you're looking at least 400 or 500 drivers there, aren't you?
Absolutely, at least. It would be. I wish there was a tool that Motorsport UK had to monitor how many drivers, what classes, how many novices, and how often people were racing. Almost like a driver database for licensed karters in the UK. That would be interesting. So that was really good. And I have to say, one other event that I've been to, I know this is slightly off topic, but we were going to.
What we're here for.
I went to Clay's the Masters.
Inform me.
Which is incredible. So, 2 lads, one of them, Monty Gorringe, bought my old race kart when he first started karting. They have come up with Formula 100, an offshoot of that. It's a one-off, like golf, the Masters. They've got all the fonts, they've got a green jacket, and it's ICA and Formula Super A. There were 60 Formula A's and ICA's at Clay Pigeon on a Saturday, and the winner, Tyler Whedon, won it. He gets the green jacket, and the previous year's winner presented to him. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. The scary thing is, and this is the worrying thing, I've now seen, in the year 2026, I have now seen at a club meeting, and this was part of an IKR meeting at Clay Pigeon, I've seen more ICA karts and Formula Super A karts from the 1990s than I've seen KZ2s, Water Swifts and Water Swift Restricted at any club event in the UK. That's worrying.
Yes. So there's a bit of a dichotomy there. We've got some really strong club entries, which is great to see because, that's why SlipStream exists, which is why this exists.
There was nearly 30 Rotax 177s at Kimbolton.
Yeah.
Nearly 30. 177s. We've had 177s at Wilton Mill the last 2 months. Did we have any at... no, we didn't have any at Trent Valley Kart Club. But, Hondas. There were nearly 50 Hondas at the Kart Championship. Incredible stuff. And yet, I haven't seen a grid of more than 4 Water Swift Restricted and more than 13 Water Swifts. And we had 10 KZs at Shenington. And 4 at Kimbolton.
KZs, I think, is something that, of course, Water Swift is important and Water Restricted. It would be good to get those grids up, but there are alternative options, which is partly potentially why Water Swift and Water Restricted aren't as populated as they would like to be, because the other options in the Rotax classes are well populated. However, KZ is basically the short circuit gearbox class in the UK.
Well, it's a premier class in British karting.
Yeah, well, there you go. And it needs grids like this. Surely there's more than 10 people that could or should or would like to be racing KZs.
Exactly. I'm sure there are. I think the NKF starts soon and there'll be a big grid of that, but that's not a Premier Championship, sorry. The British Championship is, certainly, okay, they're not allowed at Trent Valley Kart Club, but Wilton Mill, Kimbolton is a haven for gearboxes, and they got, 5? Shenington, 10? That's if you can't get more than 10 gearbox karts for a club meeting at Shenington, there's something radically wrong.
Yeah.
I have to say. But Trent Valley Kart Club was interesting. Started damp, got dry, then got a little bit wet for the finals. It was really interesting,
It sounds very similar to your SlipStream at Trent Valley Kart Club with the... we discussed this last month with the winter karting, didn't we?
No, we did, and it's always an interesting point of how the drivers deal with that, and they'll use that experience going into the following season. So, but I do echo your points there about KZ2 at the moment, Henry. doing the next couple at Shenningtons as well. I think we've got Super.
You were doing the next couple of Trent Valley Kart
was, but, you know, times change, everybody.
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
It is.
A dog.
Rough.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying it for a while. I think it's a collective piece of work that is needed, though, to further promote things, and hopefully as we start rolling into the national championships over, by the time we do the next one of these, we'll have had the first KZ2 British Championships round. That we've got to get people talking, we've got to get people collaborating from all different angles. I think it's not necessarily just set on one particular group.
Yes,
it's a collective that's
play the blame
forward.
game. Let's just, there is obviously an issue when every single club meeting I've been to and entry list I've seen, there's been plus 50 junior Rotax. That's the biggest class in karting in the UK at the moment. Plus 50 to up to 60 senior Rotaxes, closely followed juniors Rotaxes, closely followed by, I have to say, senior Rotax and junior X30 have been quite strong. Senior X30 are next, but Minimax and Micromax are equally as strong.
The positive, I always like to try and put a positive on this of where I think a path that we could go with KZ2 of it needing maybe some new blood. One driver I'll pick out of my brain, Milo Manderson, for example. We saw it with George Barker as well a couple of years ago of obviously there's always the talk of the juvenile classes versus the adult classes, but I think we've got to really make sure that when we have what at the moment is bucking the trend of a younger driver going, actually no, I'm going to have a little go at these KZ2s once I get to 15, 16, to make a bit of a show of that, to say, we've got some new drivers.
I might have a suggestion.
Go on.
Well, I can't mention it now. It's not that part of the show, but I may have come up with, because that got my grey matter turning as well. How do we, promote that element of karting a little bit more? So we'll come to that in a minute.
How do we support those who are going to stay with karting for the longer term?
And that was kind of what I was going to say as well. Is it's rightly or wrongly, especially in the UK, the market for karting is very much. How do I describe it? It's somewhat. Everyone goes where everyone else is going, so it's a catch-22. If there's people in the class that's better, then you get more people in the class, and we've seen that with the ebb and flow of Rotax and Miami over the years. One gets popular, then the other one gets popular, and back and forth it goes. But when you've got,
I don't want to say karters are like lemmings, but they do follow the sheep. Which is fine. I'm not going to call them sheep either.
But it's just fine because when there's a natural ebb and flow over a few years, that's okay. And also, to a certain extent, when you've got Rotax and Miami, the brands want people to drive their car or their engines, so therefore they can push marketing towards that. I think part of the issue with KZ2 is they're competing with brands that are pushing their own product. KZ2, you have competition. You have TM engines, Miami engines,
the commercial classes versus the non-commercial classes,
which is a difficulty. But I also think that if there is some momentum that starts being created for KZ2 and gearbox karting, which there should be, because they are absolutely mega.
Nearly did a swear. Piers nearly did a swear. I saw it. You were going to say they were amazing.
They were amazing. But I've driven a KZ once. Absolutely incredible pieces of kit. And everyone that comes from single speed kart, not everyone, I can't speak for everyone. Most people who try a KZ go, wow, that's incredible. I want to do that. But then they look and go, well, there's not a grid until this, and there's not that many. As soon as there gets more drivers, more populated grids with competitive drivers, I think it will almost create and fuel itself. So we need a marketing push, but I don't know what the answer is for now.
I mean, if you're going to be, you've got to sympathise with families, parents, drivers. If you're going to be spending a lot of money on karting, you want to make sure that you're going to be racing against other people. So you do. That's the reason why you do look around and think, well, there's only 15 KZ2s around. What's the chances of all them turning up at once? So why do I bother, investing a lot of money into a KZ2, package? To race against 8 or 9 other drivers, it's just and then it goes from there. So it is a real quandary.
Absolutely, then something we can consider and maybe revisit in the future.
Well, let's ask the people. What would you do?
That's a great question. What is your answer for the KZ2? And I don't want to be dramatic. The KZ2 issue, because it is an issue.
It is an issue. There's not enough of you.
Yes, but so many people that love KZ and think it's great and say, I don't think this is an unpopular opinion, there should be a strong KZ2 grid. It should be the premier karting in the UK. It's amazing. We need to fix it. What would you do?
And the other thing is, and this is no disrespect meant, but if you look at the names of the people in KZ2, they're not like the richest of the rich at all, So actually running a KZ2 doesn't cost the earth. Yes, they're obviously the initial cost to buy the kit is expensive, but the running costs, and everyone in the class keeps telling us this, the running costs of a KZ2 aren't as high as you think.
Yes.
So,
especially when the cost of high-level karting in the UK is not bound actually by the thing that you're sitting in at the time you're sitting in it.
It's bound by the person you're paying and the graphics kit and the colour of the graphics kit that you have got on your card.
It's only a percentage of the overall cost, which is slightly greater with KZ, but for a premier class at high speeds. I think we do need to, again, please give us your thoughts. Let us know in the comments on this or on anything that I can access. We've got the comments section coming up later in this episode, which we, of course, will revisit next month. If you've got any good suggestions, it's only going to benefit the karting in the UK, so please do get involved. Henry, Trent Valley Kart Club, brilliant.
Very good. One driver to look out for. Last comment on Trent Valley Kart Club. The X-Kart Scholarship winner, Jude Puddyfoot. Mark my words, I don't have favourite drivers, that's not what I'm about, but I can spot talent, and I'm quite good at spotting talent. And last year, Jude Puddyfoot won the X-Kart Scholarship, and I was part of the judging system, and I said to my fellow judges at 11 a.m. on that morning, after he did his first media interview, I said to David Sullivan and Alex Goldschmidt, there is your winner. And he got in a kart and proved me right. He did his very, very first Motorsport UK event at Trent Valley Kart Club in Junior Rotax and made it not only to the final, but also finished quite far up in the final. And since then has gone on to do much more impressive things, like so watch out, Jude the Duck Puddyfoot. He finished second at the kart championship at Junior Primo this weekend at Warden Law in his first ever championship race. Watch out for that driver.
And has already won on an international level, won the Sony World Series last year.
He did win the Sony World Series rental karting at
I've been
Campillos.
to that exact championship, came second, third in 2014 in the senior category, so
really?
I know it very well.
Yeah, and I do it all now as well, and that's so watch out for Jude Puddyfoot.
Interesting. This is where last month we went from one commentator to another because but seeing as Henry is stealing all of Andrew's jobs, we'll go back to WMKC.
Yesterday here wasn't the job I stole off you.
No.
Next weekend's the job I stole off you.
Yes.
Unintentionally stolen off him, but it's okay.
And what's the word? I'll come back to the word. We're both happy on it.
Well, yeah, it's okay. I mean, there might be two rookie commentators at Clay Pigeon that are like, ooh.
We can skip over the fight I had to break up in the car park before we started this podcast.
This isn't dribble. This is blood from a tusk. Like literally, the guy from Sheffield, he just caught me, unawares.
Right. So we last month WMKC, which was literally. This track. Thank you once again, Wilton Mill Kart Club, Wilton Mill Circuit, for allowing us to be here to host the podcast once again. It will probably be here fairly regularly because home of Alpha Live. But Wilton Mill Kart Club was busy.
Foggy to start with, delayed, and yet we got 29 races in. Wilton Mill did reduce the heats from 8 minutes plus a lap to 7 minutes plus a lap, with a couple of quick red flags, and I noticed that they did there was one or two races where they put the full course yellows out for a while, just to keep karts on track when the fog returned. However, again, 10 classes, 260 drivers, huge numbers in pretty much everything apart from Honda, which had 10, 4 Waterstiff restricted, 7 Rotax 177s, but everything else very well populated. The day got brighter, and there was some again, really, really good racing. I have to say. Darcy Durnford, it's one of those things. You're in a class of 4, Water Swift restricted. You're trying to cover 2 races at once, and Emma France was doing production for the very first time, and she did a great job trying to cover the Micromax battle and the Water Swift restricted battle, which was made even harder by the fact that Darcy Durnford got a 5-second penalty and was leading by 5 seconds. And so you're trying to but she won by, I think, 0.8 of a second in the end. But yeah, senior Rocco Shenton was absolutely electric in Junior X30. Missed qualifying on Saturday, 30 kart grid. He starts both heats at the back, finishes 5th and 6th, and then comes up and battled and finished. We finished 2nd on the road to George Edgar in Junior X30, but had a nose cone penalty, his only nose cone penalty of the day, but still, they were so far ahead of everybody else that he still took 3rd, which was outstanding. Lots of good racing in seniors and juniors, as well as all across the classes, I have to say.
Amazing. And Rocco Shenton will feature actually in the comments section coming up later on, so stick around for that. But Rocco is definitely one to watch for. If I'm assuming he's going to enter the British Kart Championships, and if he does, it's going to be him and George are going to be.
We're going to come back to the problem that some people criticise us for featuring. We talk about Macaulay Bishop more or Rocco Shenton more. Well, hang on a second. George Edgar won. Why aren't we talking about him? Well, of course we are, but in terms of excitement, in terms of box office, in terms of if there's one reason to sit down and watch this race. Sadly, it's not for George Edgar winning, it's for Rocco Shenton driving from 30th right up to the lead pack twice and in one lap, passing 7 drivers in one lap on circuit. That's the reason that we talk about it, because, that's the reason that the casual viewer should want to come and sit down and watch those races.
And especially with Rocco, it's always... we love.
You never know what's going to happen.
You never know with Rocco. But also, we as Brits like an underdog, and Rocco goes against the big boys.
Yeah, exactly.
In his own
we love an underdog.
Yeah, so there we go. That's cool. Any other standouts that Henry from Wilton?
From Wilton Mill, Alexander De Benedictis was quite good in again. In the right. Interesting, Lewis Bird and Sam Lewis, in the premium karting team, they haven't quite clicked with the equipment yet, I don't think. They're very quick, but yet they're still maybe bedding themselves in to the new team, as it were. There were lots of them. Noah Barham was good. Alfie Thompson for Evolution Racing was quite good. The Jack Dex Racing team as well. Always so solid, so good around here. That is something that is good to see.
And you mentioned with Jack's team as well, it's something I picked up on at Shenington, kind of combining with the Jude Puddifoot thoughts earlier. I think we need to keep an eye on Jack's team. I'm not quite sure how many of them are going to maybe run British Championships this year, but very few. Yeah. But in terms of the other national touring championships that we'll be talking about as well, Jack's got a lot of really strong young drivers who've come through from Arrive and Driving Club 100 and other series.
It's more than 5 minutes ago, so my brain has forgotten exactly.
Jacob Underhill taking the win just ahead of Jude Puddifoot yesterday in the kart championship. But the likes of Zane Perry, Ethan Guest, all have come through a very similar path to what we've seen with Jude.
James Tester in senior Rotax was very, very good indeed. There's a couple. In one class, there was 13 novices, which is really good to see. I think that was Micromax. And yet, but there's a lad in Minimax. I talked about Charlie Heffer. His first race off novices as a privateer, he won the Driver of the Day award and he was top 5 all day in a grid of 34 Minimaxes, which is great. I've loved coming back, not coming down, that's not the right word. I don't get a chance to do club meetings very often, and to come back and see what talent is coming through, or just to see how many novices, or to see the names, how many of these privateer club drivers are actually competed at all 4 SlipStream events that have happened. And even the club drivers are doing a fair bit of travelling, but it was there's some great talent coming through.
Great. Well, of course, Wilton Mill Kart Club, very much see that on SlipStream. Trent Valley Kart Club as well, so continue to get involved with that. The Wilton Mill Kart Club event is available to our SlipStream members, which was live and also is now available for you watching. This will come out the week following Wilton Mill Kart Club, and then, of course, with all SlipStream events, is available to everyone, heats and finals.
You mean this is going to come out the day following Trent Valley Kart Club next weekend?
No, the days
confused him now, haven't I?
Yes. Last month I had it. My slightly sleep-deprived state from my flight that was cancelled last night, Henry.
Yeah,
I'll have you know.
Yeah. He didn't mention that his flight wasn't. When you say cancelled, is it took off while he was still in a holding cell?
Again, slander. Anyway, so that's the Trackside review. Henry, thank you so much for covering Wilton Mill Kart Club and Trent Valley Kart Club off.
And Piers' weekend.
And Piers' weekend. Andrew, is there anything you'd like to weigh in on the Trackside review so far? Oh, because also we can talk about some other bits and pieces.
Other bits and pieces. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go in reverse order of what I've seen things. I went down your ends a couple of days ago.
My ends?
Yeah. Llandau for BUKC. Now, this was the reorganised one because we were meant to be at Dunkeswell. I'm sure many people know what's happened with Dunkeswell. My goodness, I hope we get that situation fixed because I want to go to Dunkeswell more.
Sorry?
So we no more noisy days than what they've already got.
Oh,
because
right,
some people
of course, yes.
Like
Mrs. Miggins living 3 miles down the road doesn't like the sound of engines.
Yeah. Speaking on behalf of myself, not Alpha Live at that point. So we switched to Llandau. Brilliant stepping in there from Llandau. I'd not been there. When did Her Majesty pass away? Was it
2022.
That's the last time I went there in any capacity.
And they haven't touched it since.
As a driver. I think the last time I'd commentated there, and I wasn't commentating it, was a really good job done by John Ratcliffe and one of our newer commentators, Jake Palmer, who you've now kicked out of a job for Sunday.
Hello. Dog world.
I don't think I'd been there in a non-racing capacity since 2019.
Hasn't changed much, has it?
It hasn't changed much, but I'd also forgotten how much I do love that place. And we had some really good racing.
Track. It's a really good track.
Do you know what? It really promoted, because I was there as well on the Wednesday only for the Prems. Unfortunately, because I was leaving for said stag do, wasn't able to be there on the Inters on the Thursday.
On the Thursday, let's say that's how good stag do was. He can't even remember what day he was doing last week.
Hey, there is podcasts. Some are good, some are bad. But today, this is not a good one for me. But I was there. And
you were there.
The racing was really, really good. Actually, the penalty count was far less high than a normal BUKC day, is how I'm going to phrase that.
It was far better than Buckmore Park. For a first one to be live broadcasting with our friends at Alpha Live, it was really, really good. Championship-wise as well, really close now between... we've all done BUKC for a good number of years in past days, and we often see this, that when you get a bit of a at first runaway lead team, which was Southampton A, something always goes back you come into the pack.
That one hand on the trophy has been removed.
And unfortunately for Southampton, that did before them. I think the situation is now it's best 6 scores out of 8. So if we just go with, they've got another round to go, another 2 scores, we just go by their best 4. Both Southampton and the reigning champions, Bath A, have both had 3 round wins and a second. Yeah. It is mighty close going into the last round. Which
the last round of the BUKC.
Which, talking of, considering...
Good segue, Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we make a bit of an announcement now, because for the exclusive announcement for our SlipStream members. The rest of you will learn this out 7 days.
Non-branded.
You've stolen another one of my jobs, haven't you, Henry?
No, I haven't stolen anything. I haven't even stolen this lovely bit of unbranded orange drink that could be sponsored.
Caffeinated, carbonated
unbranded, caffeinated,
may well
carbonated.
be associated with Scotland.
I didn't say that, Piers. But what I did say is that if anybody wants to sponsor said drink and have a table sponsor for the podcast, the Bumpdraft podcast, let me just quick taste check.
Oh no, that was my bottle from last night.
Tastes warm.
Tastes nice. Yeah. Holding cell.
We always like to introduce the new talent, don't we, on the BUKC live broadcast. I started there, you started there, various people started there.
Yep.
We've got Silverstone coming up, 3 days of live broadcast action, and I had a call from another, driver. Commentator who's not done BUKC before, saying, "Oh, we'll have a little go," and it's like, "go on then."
Hello, it's me. It's me. Yes, I have never. The last time I was at a BUKC event was my farewell to the championship at Clay Pigeon in March 2002.
So it wasn't a farewell, it was until we meet again.
Until we meet again, because I cannot wait to come back and join you guys at Silverstone for the final round of the British University Karting Championship. I'm really, really pleased. Thank you.
That's okay.
So is that 2-0 on the Jobstone in front?
Well,
but you're going to be there.
I'm going to be there in some capacity.
Yeah.
I don't quite know what yet. The reason being, this is building up to another event, because you've not commentated any Club 100 racing before.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
And it's midweek, so you're available amongst the 45 different events that you're doing across the course of the year.
yeah, quite literally.
But later this year,
yes.
What are we up to in May?
What are we up to in May?
What are we up to in May?
Well, we're going to go to Silverstone again.
We're going to Silverstone again.
For the Rotax Club finals.
Rotax Racing Club International Finals. The inaugural International Finals.
Do you know what? It's a really bad time to be not a fan of Henry, Andrew and Piers, because all three of us at Silverstone for BUKC, all three of us...
no, I'm slightly going away, aren't I? Because there's an event clash.
Okay, well,
but I will be there in spirit. And
you're not going to be at Silverstone for the club?
No.
What?
We'll discuss this off air. I think I will still be there for the Sunday. We'll discuss off there.
Right. Okay. What we're trying to say is that if you don't like this boat race, that boat race, and that boat race,
you're screwed.
Tough.
Yeah. Go find another
sport. Try rugby.
Yeah. Also, I'm quite enjoying the fact that you don't even know this yet. You do. At the BUKC, the Tuesday is the mains.
Yes.
The Wednesday is the drivers' championship.
Yes.
Do you know who's just got a guest entry?
You?
Yes.
Oh my God!
I am presenting and
this
driving.
Always goes well.
Oh, this always goes well.
Presenting and driving at the BUKC Drivers' Championship. Henry, the last time you commentated on me was probably
Kart Masters 2018 Pig Crash Helmet Senior X30 B Final.
No, 2021 Kart Masters.
Was
Senior
it?
X30, the only final.
The only final?
And I wasn't near the front.
Okay. But why did I interview you on the grid?
That was 2018.
That was 2018. Okay, I'm getting my years mixed up. 2021. Yeah, it was a blur.
2021 was a blur for me also. But so that's going to be good fun. And then you've got the wonderment of the Inters, Henry, on the Thursday.
Inters is good.
The Inters.
Yeah.
It's those that haven't quite made
the development drivers.
Oh, okay. The drivers that turn up at university go, yeah, I like go-karting. Yeah, I went to Team Sport a few times. I like go-karting. It's great. And then whack, Silverstone Club 100. They realise not quite as good as I thought I was.
While we're on the topic of Silverstone, because there's double Silverstone duty there for Club 100, both with the BUKC. Club 100 visited Silverstone for the first ever Alpha Live broadcast of Silverstone kart circuit recently. We've got another kart circuit. And it's at Silverstone.
Hello.
And
the drivers really like it.
Yeah, I haven't driven it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
Told.
I'm hearing good reviews as well. I'm hearing good reviews from the drivers.
It looks wide, it looks high speed, it looks committed. There's like 8 overtaking opportunities per lap or something ridiculous like that.
Excellent.
Everything that we like. So I'm looking forward to getting behind the wheel.
We'll talk more about that on as we go along. I just got a couple of other things of what I've been doing the last couple of weeks, apart from drinking tequila on a boat. Shennington, some names to just pull out. Jensen Hookey winning in his field of 60 junior Rotax drivers.
There's another young talent, Jensen Hookey, yes.
Henry Hales, we talked about your complicated 2-grid cadet race.
Oh, yes.
Any budding commentators out there, if you want to... What's the hardest thing to commentate on? I think it was the first heat of the cadets.
Right.
Here's the scenario. The Miami Water Swift restrictors, they go off first. The Honda cadets, they go off second, 20 seconds, whatever it is behind. There's then a full course. There's a slow procedure, which the Hondas saw first, slowed down, meant the Miami Water Swift restrictors went round the back to the back of their field. We ended up with both cadet classes all mixed in one.
Half of them were a lap in front of the others as well.
0.95 of a lap ahead of the others. That was tough, ladies and gentlemen, to kind of keep on top of everything that was going on there. But Henry Hales had a very good day in the Miami Water Swift Restricted.
And he's Welsh.
and he's Welsh, and he's got a fluoro orange front of his car.
Does that pass?
That passes the test, because not many people use that. Other things that happened in that one of note: Ben Hunt winning in Minimax. He's looked very good so far this season. Ben Bowers as well in Honda Cadet. Others as well. Formula Libre had a good grid again.
What was that? I saw James Ogden winning in that, and I haven't seen Oggy for a while.
Yes.
What is Formula Libre?
So Formula Libre is in very similar style to, say, TKM Clubman back a few years ago. So it's X30 based.
Right.
Cost capped, cost controlled, equipment controlled as well. So, like, for instance, there's only certain number of tyre sets that they can use across the course of the whole
using X30
season.
engines.
But it's X30 engines that are all like 2 years old or more. Same with chassis as well. Very good category.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're looking at it as a good way of getting involved and you don't want to spend loads and loads of money, check out Formula Libre, because there is a good grid of those going on at Shannington.
Yeah, I noticed that. What else I noticed, and again, sorry, at Shannington and Kimbolton, no TKM classes at all at two of the biggest TKM hubs of the country. Are we finally going to close the book on TKM?
I fear we may be, and that is a real shame.
It's a huge shame, but I'd like to think that I'm wrong, but I think that we are bidding farewell to TKM in junior and extreme format at a modern level, or a current club and national level. It's
been ever present, hasn't it, in pretty much everyone's life of karting.
But it gets to a point where the class is on life support, and this is what worries me about the current trend with a few other classes, is that you need so many new drivers to suddenly, you're not going to get 20, 30 people suddenly buy a TKM package out of nowhere to create a grid somewhere. It's a shame. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that we are sort of, the fat lady's not singing, but she is certainly gargling with her mouthwash and tuning and taking a throat lozenge on the TKM
which
classes.
Would be very sad indeed. So,
it would, yes.
There we go.
Finish off. One very, very quick more on the European front. Went out to Zouera. Should note as well, I've seen a race actually go through to its conclusion.
I was going to say, congratulations.
The curse of 2026 is over. The wind had a very good go at us again at Zouera. We had another Shannington downpour, funnily enough, which was similar in style to the one that ended round 2, but we powered through. not just one complete full to its end conclusion of a race meeting for me so far this year, but 2 in the same weekend. IAME Zouera, not much on the British front really to talk about in senior. I think that's because a number of the drivers who were in that age group, a lot of them have gone to Janetta Juniors this year. Riley Cranham, Harrison Mackey and others, and all of that. Very happy to report though on the junior front, Max Endicott third in the standings as things are going on right now, and Sukmani Kira took her first IAME Euro Series podium.
Well done, Sugars.
It was the kind of drive that we saw a lot of last year. It's like, could this be the day where Sukmani breaks through? That second year in juniors, I fingers crossed. We don't have favourites, but we do like to see a driver, coming back against adversity. And I think Sukmani has had to battle a lot, particularly in the first year of X30 Junior.
Well done, Sugars.
Yeah, and fully deserved it as well. I think through all of the heats. In fact, I may be wrong here, but definitely through the vast majority of her races across the whole weekend, she led every one at some stage. Didn't win every single one, but proper contender there in X30 Juniors. But the big story for me from Zouera on a British front is last season it was Excel Motorsport. The season before that it was Jamie Green Racing. Yes. The season before that and the season before that, and we keep going, it was Ollie Rowland Motorsport. Yeah. Fusion Motorsport have got a big problem on their hands this season.
Really? In
the shape of the Danny Curl Academy, who did an absolutely stunning job in the minis. Ilyas Sami taking the final victory. It could easily have been Chester Falk. If you wanted an example of perfect teamwork across an entire weekend, go and look at what Ilyas and Chester did a weekend or so ago at X30 Minis at Zouera. Fusion gave it a really good go. You had Mason Hibbett, you had Alfie Davison in there as well. But in terms of just that final little bit of execution, my goodness, Danny has done a great job with those two drivers to give them the confidence, the speed, and the know-how of how to win races. They are going to be a force this season.
And you know something? You know, this is my 21st year now commentating. Fusion were there at the start. Initially, it was Kart Tech. Then it was Eclipse. Then it became AIM. Then it became... I'm trying to think who was after the AIM Motorsport team. Oliver Rowland, you mentioned. Jamie Green. Every single year, or a couple of years, somebody new steps up. And Fusion, they stand there and it's like, okay, bring it on. And I really like that and hope that Danny Curl Academy, and this is not against Fusion because they are the benchmark and they are the team that everybody, whether they like Fusion or not, they are the team that all other teams base themselves on. They look at the way that Fusion operates and think, we need to do that. That is how to do it. And stepping up.
One final I will just throw in as well, as I mentioned, Ilias and Chester, also need to mention Dimi Uzanov. Now, Dimi,
yes,
as we know, has gone from the cadet levels straight into what we call inter-level here, and then straight into the European level of it. For a long time in that final at Zwera, the DK drivers were 1, 2, 3, and the job that Dimi did, realising that maybe his day is further down the line than those two, he did a brilliant job of being a nuisance to everybody else. He did pick up a plus 5 second penalty, which took him off the podium. But the role that he had to play of letting those two get in that nice, comfortable rhythm, the DK train, and being 10 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, that was a huge part of the DK Academy's strategy at Zwera, and I'm really looking forward to see how they race as a trio.
Yeah, because British drivers have been doing so well. You know, looking at all the drivers that have secured their tickets to the Rotax Grand Finals already, either whether it was at Macau or in Houston or even at the Euro Trophy recently. One driver, congratulations to Alfie Mayer, signed for the factory Tony Kart team. There's some big news coming regarding another exciting young British talent and their future.
Okay, right, that's enough now on the Trackside review. Thank you so much, both of you, for your inside knowledge and your commentary updates. Of course, you can catch all of the Alpha Live and SlipStream racing we've mentioned there on YouTube, and you will hear many more of these guys' voices over the next coming weeks and months. Trackside review done. Next up, your favourite unpopular opinion. So I shall start the unpopular opinions for March. Last month it was about the earplugs. Turns out my unpopular opinion actually was quite unpopular because there wasn't a huge amount of positive. There was some, but clearly people like hearing their engines in full verse. But my unpopular opinion this month is that we've spoken a lot about top UK drivers in the UK and then going to Europe already. But my unpopular opinion is top UK drivers would be better on the world stage if they were more willing to lose.
Ooh.
And I will justify this. So one of the most famous downfalls in British karting of recent memory is the Sarno Senior Rotax final from the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals of 2024, where about 7 of the top 10 and about halfway through the final race, the grand final event, were British, and somehow no British drivers managed to win because they all decided that if I can't win, neither can you.
Yes.
And I think this is something that is permeated not just in senior Rotax at that event, but in senior karting, and it's bred out of the fact that the UK senior drivers especially, but juniors to a certain extent, you mentioned Henry at the head of the show at Trent Valley, I feel like, will win at all costs, but that actually means on average you will lose more often because it's a win at all cost mentality that means that you're more likely to crash. I would like to see, and it's my opinion, that I would like to see more drivers lose on a last lap battle 1v1 and high five the mate or the person that's just overtaken them. That was a great move, and be happy, not happy, it's not the right word, but be content that today you've won, but I'll use that as Arsenal so I can win next time.
Yes.
You were there.
I was there. I'm not sure about the high five bit because at the end of the day, at that level, you know, you are there to win. I do agree, though, that I think that it'd be nice to see accept the fact that on any given day, your best might not be good enough to win, and it might only be good enough for second, and you have to respect the person that has done the better job than you. That's the word that's missing, or the element that is missing from some of what we've seen it was in Bahrain as well, but yeah, I've done the best I can. You just did a better job than me today, and fair play to you. Sean Butcher had the perfect attitude when Macaulay Bishop beat him in Bahrain, because Sean wanted to win that race so badly. Macaulay Bishop caught him, passed him, pulled away from him. Sean Butcher, he was devastated. He just was better than me today. And that was it. And that's what you want. You know, I'm disappointed, but you know what? I admit that driver, that team, that mechanic did a better job than me. Fair play to them. I am going to go away, work harder, and make sure that they never beat me again at this level.
A prime example of my attitude towards it.
Yeah, rather than, okay, that's it. You're going to win. Nope.
Well, we've seen it before. We see it. How often do we see it when, for example, let's reverse situation. Sean Butcher in that race gets caught by a Macaulay, and he knows that he can't win the race on pace, and decides, I'm going to make sure that Macaulay doesn't win this race. Yeah,
that's
what we have seen from British drivers, junior, senior, and it's not I don't know if it's unpopular, because there's a lot of people clearly that are doing it in the UK, so therefore it does happen, but I'd like to see less of that and more sportsmanship to a certain extent.
Yeah, nothing wrong with sportsmanship.
No, I tend to agree. I think it's a particularly powerful thing to learn when you're going up into the higher levels as well. You know, within karting, you know, doing some of the stuff in Europe and up on a world level. It's just going to get harder if you go up those levels from national scene and in the commercial classes. So, I tend to agree fully with that thought there, mate.
Well, there we go. So I've got 2 agreements. Last month I had 2 agreements, and then no one has seen us like my idea next month in the comments. But hey, that's okay. That's what Unpopular Opinions is here for. Andrew, do you have any unpopular opinions you'd like to share?
It's an unpopular opinion, I think, mainly with rules writers, which is why I'm raising it now. Because it's one actually to do with the end of a season.
Okay.
We've had some really good success stories in British karting, both on a national and an international front, and I'm picturing the scene. A driver has done so well that they've got the championship wrapped up one full round before the end of the championship season. We're all in the entertainment business, as we've talked about. We want people to tune in to go, I really want to see that driver race. I really don't like, and I fully understand why they do it, because of how the rules are written at the moment in terms of what happens to you as a driver if you get a sporting disqualification. But this whole thing of, I've got enough points for the championship already, therefore I'm going to turn up, sign on, maybe do 1 lap of qualifying, and then sit the rest of the weekend in the pits or standing on on a ladder trackside, I just think is so bad for the sport in terms of building the stories and getting people to tune in. You know, recent examples. Our friends at RGMMC did a great job of picking out Harrison Mackie in 2024 for his X30 Junior Euro Series title, which he blitzed through the first 3 meetings of the season. And I remember seeing Harrison at the start of that weekend and talking to him. It's like, you know what, Harrison, yeah, good. And I could just see something was off, because I hadn't clocked it at that point that's what they were going to do. Yeah, not racing this weekend.
So they go all the way to, where was it?
Genk.
Genk, all the way to Belgium. Spend the money, sign them, you know, because you've still got to take the equipment and hide the equipment and get the hotel and travel and eat and drink. And how many laps?
0. And they say that the scene that we had, great pickup by the camera ops. There he was on a ladder. So the moment where it's the big, and there's your champion for this year on a ladder, not in a race car. And we've got to find a way of either tweaking the rules or doing whatever. One that I'll throw in there, you know, the attendance bonus points that we have in the national championship and the British championships. Change that to, you've got to compete and run, and let's say define competition as you've done 2 laps. You've got to compete and run in every single final. So if it's a particularly big class, you've got to qualify through. But for the scene, for the casual viewer as well, that must be really confusing as well. Of like, he's the champion, but why is he not racing?
No, sorry, why do we have to do any of that? I mean, if Max Verstappen wins the Formula 1 World Championship 3 races before the end, he still does the last 3 races. In any other form of motorsport, the champion races out.
Or even any other sport.
Or any other sport.
You can't just
Man City don't win the Premier League before the last game of the season and then send out the under-12s on the last day of the season.
Well, this is it. And so Andrew, could you summarise your unpopular opinion?
My unpopular opinion is the act of champions sitting out the last races of the season to avoid a penalty that would then remove the championship from them should it occur.
And therefore it should be written in the rules such that
you must race.
You must race, or that, again, the rules are written in a way that hanging dagger of Damocles isn't over them for the last part of the season, because in my opinion they deserve to race, and we as supporters of karting deserve to watch them race.
If I take that back one step, does that mean, and this might be taking it too far, that is caused by the drop score situation, and you requiring to take any disqualifications as a token
You can't
score.
take it as a drop
so
score.
Therefore, would it be too much of an extension to say remove drop scores from national level championships?
That is one possible way you could go forward if they're going to all be there anyway. So I don't know.
Or maybe a 500-point penalty for sitting out the last round.
That's a very direct way.
I don't know.
I'm not quite sure what the solution is.
Well, this is the reason we do this. We want your opinions on Andrew's opinions, on mine as well, which you'll probably hate as always. Henry, I'm interested for this one. Henry,
look how nervous he is.
Henry,
this could be the end.
This is only episode 2.
I know. I have been through my list and I have selected accordingly. My unpopular opinion is this: before any Motorsport UK licence holder moves from karting to cars, they must complete and be signed off at 6 senior karting events. So before anybody races cars, you must do at least 6 races in senior karting. You can still test, and you can still go to Europe where the ages are slightly different, and do your senior races there. So take Jacob Ashcroft, for example, the best junior karter in the world in 2025. He's in the conversation. He finishes his junior career at the Rotax Grand Finals. He's now moved into cars. Well, as an example, he would have had to do 6 races as a senior. Why? Well, number 1, it's good for karting, and I'm here to think about karting. Number 2, he could have done them already and still be ready to test. Number 3, if there's a problem with cost, well, any driver that moans about having to do 6 senior club level karting races before they get into cars is going to find cars a little bit tricky. Also, karting gets pillaged every angle for its talent. We get them taken off us to go to car racing earlier and earlier, whether it is a national level or whether it is an international FIA level. So we've got to stand up for ourselves. By bringing this rule in, Motorsport UK and karting is making itself more significant. It's standing up for it. It's making itself relevant. But also, the last 2 things. These drivers that come into karting with a focus for cars, they're under pressure all the way through their karting career. Karting for them is pressure. But those 6 senior races, doesn't matter. They can enjoy their last 6 races in karting. Nothing matters. It's just simply a paper exercise. I've got to do it because it shows I can race against maturity. I can, matured older people. I get the junior bit knocked out of me. I'm more mentally ready to move into car racing. Also, so that's good. So they leave karting with a smile on their face, which sometimes they don't. Do we have a single photograph anywhere in the sport of Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Alex Albon, George Russell, Ollie Behrman, Arvid Lindblad driving a senior kart? No is the answer.
Not in the UK, at least.
No, full stop.
George Russell did some KF1.
Maybe one. But all the publicity photos for karting of F1 drivers as juniors, and it permeates and reinforces the myth that karting is not a sport for seniors. So if we had, so say Jacob Ashcroft, I'm using Jacob as an example, gets to Formula One, and we have got a category of photos, a catalogue of photos of Jacob driving a senior kart, which we can then use to promote karting as not just a kid's sport, but as a senior sport as well. So there we are. Before you move, and if you've never done karting before, and you want to go into car racing, then you have to be at least 16, or you get a kart license for 6 months and do 6 senior kart races. That's my unpopular opinion. And people have their issues with it, but it's to promote and to make karting stronger, and for karting to stand up for itself for a little bit and actually try and not hang on to the talent, because the talent is going to go, anyway.
It'll go when it's going to go.
But yeah, why not?
I mean, there's such a
he's come
point.
with logic again.
He's thing is, I feel like you bring receipts, Henry. You bring because that you started, and then every I was like, you came with it.
Hey, I thunk it through properly.
You did thunk it.
I thunked it.
I'm actually not going to rebuttal anything on that, because I think you've made such a good case that I will let the comments ensue. A reminder: you can get involved with this discussion on Henry's unpopular opinion, either in the comments of this video, or I will be clipping our unpopular opinions and they will be making their way out on social media.
Was there any need to be worried there, Piers? I've got my list here. When it comes to episode 8 or 9, then we're going to get into the really good stuff that we'll get the lawyers on before.
You have that to look forward to. I have that to look to stress about until then. So please do continue to make sure you're subscribed to Alpha Live so you can catch these clips as they go out. They go out on YouTube Shorts, Instagram, Facebook Reels, and TikTok as well. And get involved in the comments. That's our unpopular opinions. So that means that next up we have our opportunity to give those unpopular opinions to our Phonebox guest, which is coming up next. The Phonebox. This is the part of the show where we phone a friend. And now we haven't...
We've lost a friend.
We've lost a friend. But that's because Andrew Mather is a very busy man.
He's a very, very busy man.
Important and busy man,
yes.
and has other things to do.
And he's getting married next year, so he's got to keep the future bread knife happy.
Yes, and unfortunately, this is partially due to BA cancelling my flight. So apologies. Apologies on behalf of BA, and apologies to those of you who just have the two of us a remainder.
I know, sorry.
Back on course. The Phonebox. This is the part of the show where we phone a friend to weigh in our unpopular opinions and also talk about whatever's on their mind in the world of karting. And now, this month is going to be a good one. Last month, as you well know, if you watched, we had a DJ Anthony Jordan. He was, of course, is still a commentator in the European. Well, we hope.
Well, we hope he is anyway. Hi, Anthony.
In the European karting scene this month, someone who is definitely more important. Far more important. One of the UK's leading race directors, very much interwoven with Trent Valley Kart Club, is also at the British Kart Championships, among other things.
And many other things all over the world.
Dan Ashton, and I'm hoping he's going to pick up because.
Well, he better pick up.
He'd better do, because it would be good to hear his weigh in on the unpopular opinions. So I'm hoping very much now that he is going to answer the phone, as you can see and hear. I did pre-warn him.
Yes, he does know.
And he said he was willing to get involved. Hello? Hello, Dan. Dan, it is Piers and Henry.
Hello, Dan.
On the Bumpdraft podcast for SlipStream. Thank you very much for joining us and waiting around for our call. How's things?
Good afternoon. I'm very well. Here at Silverstone, setting up for the Champs of the Future Academy programme UK.
Sounds very exciting.
After a long weekend at Wardenville.
With his finger on the pulse of the karting nation is Dan Ashton.
Of course. Tell us a bit about how things are at Silverstone, because this is, I imagine, a big deal for the UK karting scene. First serious international event, I would imagine.
Yeah, huge. I mean, the track's doing a great job of getting ready for what's hopefully going to be a great weekend of racing, to be honest. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. First big race at Silverstone. Looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it.
What do you see as your challenges for this first race at Silverstone? Was that a giggle of
remembering the corner names, numbers?
Yeah, I think the fact that it's not had any big proper racing on it yet, I think is going to be a challenge. Nobody's driven it in anger, I suppose. They've only done some practicing and testing and seeing how it is. But
it's always good to have a little club warm-up event, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it's always good to see how are they going to behave, and then it comes to the event.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it. I think the track's pretty good. It's quite technical, quite tricky. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We will see how it goes. Thank you very much for filling us in what's going on in your world of karting. We have had some unpopular opinions from this month's Bumpdraft episode. Andrew Mather was with us until just a few moments ago, so we will deliver his unpopular opinion. But my unpopular opinion was, and I think you may share this one with me, is that I think the top UK drivers would be better on the world stage and win more often if they were more willing to lose.
Yes.
Yes. Anything to add, or just yes?
No, just yes, and I completely agree.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah.
That was good. Andrew Mathers was, and I hope I don't butcher this, but he basically said that through some way of the rules and the way they're written, drivers should not be allowed on a national level championship to sit out the last event of the year if they win it around early.
Yes.
I like that.
Do you have a suggestion as to how maybe we could implement this?
Oh, now you're asking. It'd be tricky, I think. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe you could go around the audience and just give them an earful and let them know they have to race. Yes. That would be effective, wouldn't it?
yeah. I'll just walk around the paddock, tell them you've got to race, otherwise you're out. See you later, pal.
Amazing. And then Henry's.
My unpopular opinion was that before any Motorsport UK licence holder moves from karting to cars, they must complete at least 6 events in senior karting.
Another good one. There's some good ones this week. I like these.
Not too bad.
I do like these.
Yeah, and the caveat was
like these.
If you're going into car racing as a driver older than 16 years old, you don't have to.
No, if you're in cars already, this is just to stop people going from junior karting to car racing without doing any form of senior racing at all.
Keeps people within our sport. That's everything that we aim for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, there you go. Do you have any unpopular opinions on the tip of your tongue that you would like to impart on us? A reminder, this is only episode 2 of our podcast, so please do not get us cancelled. I've told Henry many times.
I have many, many unpopular opinions. One on the tip of my tongue, I would probably say fast race starts. I think a lot of people to me tell me that fast is the better, but for me, slow starts and the amount of false starts that I normally give is probably a toll for that. But yeah, fast false starts for me is one. Fast starts, rather.
Do you know what?
Is one for me.
That's actually very relevant to your line of work, of course, but actually something I hadn't even considered. But I think I completely agree, really, because it only adds speed and danger to the most dangerous part of the race. For
turn 1, yeah. The slower you're all going into turn 1 at the start, the better.
Exactly, and it is possible to do. All they have to do is slow down.
Because I also don't understand. I don't understand why would a fast. Because I assume this is from people who are starting on pole thinking that faster start is better because I don't know what the reasoning would be, because if you're on pole you can control the speed and go whenever. Well, it's your choice to a certain extent when you do go, and therefore the speed at which you do it doesn't make a difference. Yeah. Question.
Exactly. I mean, it's a lot of the time they'll just try and get the jump, and then they'll come and shout at me for getting a jump start penalty, but that's beside the point.
Well, there you go. That's another one entirely. Dan, thank you so much. We'll leave you to your very important work, and we'll look forward to seeing how that first event at Silverstone goes. Henry, any closing words?
I do have one question. If you could, in ranking them from 3 to 1, what are the 3 best places to go and get ridiculously bright coloured trainers to wear on circuit?
I can't give away that secret. That's my secret.
Damn it. I'm going to find out.
That's my secret.
Okay, can you ask your mum where she goes and buys your trainers?
Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate you coming on.
No problem. Have a great afternoon, guys.
Cheers, bye. Right, Dan Ashton there. What an absolute legend. Thank you very much, Dan, for joining us. Next month, of course, we will have another guest. Another guest to be confirmed soon. So that was our phone box. Next up, we have the comments section, the part where we get to talk about what you've been talking about.
Yes.
The caption competition. No.
Viewers' comments.
Viewers' comments. Thank you, Henry. Thank you. Yes, Henry's doing some heavy lifting today. This is the part where we go through all of the comments that you've put on this podcast from last month, and also everything Alpha Live and Slipstream wide. And I'll start with someone who's already featured on the show, Rocco Shenton. We posted from Wilton Mill Kart Club the first Slipstream broadcast of that event. Rocco did an absolutely outstanding move around the outside of
Caused
Christmas.
my voice to go, Rocco Shenton!
Yes, exactly. And we posted that as a clip, which has gone down very well. People have been enjoying that, liking and sharing that a lot. And the first comment on it was Rocco Shenton himself saying, proper move, praise hands emoji. Rocco, we love your confidence. If you can't back yourself, then who's
exactly. You've got to back yourself.
There you
back
go.
yourself,
Fair play,
lad.
Rocco. Thank you very much for getting in the comments. Next one I clipped was from the Jazzy Helmets, Andrew's unpopular opinion from last month.
Yep.
The technology used has exceeded what is actually needed. 90s was simple, bold colours. Now everyone needs a tick in the book to create monstrosity. Now everyone uses every trick in the book to create monstrosity. So that's someone that very much agrees with Andrew's unpopular opinion.
Just because the helmet painting technology has improved, that you can be very, very intricate, doesn't necessarily mean you have to.
Just because you can doesn't mean that you should. So that's someone agreeing with Andrew's. This next comment was a comment on the Bumpdraft podcast from last month on YouTube, which please do comment below on this. And if you don't know, you can also like and I think comment on all of the podcast platforms that we're on, which is YouTube, YouTube Music, and Amazon Music, Spotify.
I like that one.
And the Apple Podcast as well.
Yes.
So if you're watching this and you think, do you know what, I'd rather listen to this in the car or just not look at our boat races.
Exactly.
Then please do so and drop us a subscribe on YouTube or follow and subscribe to the podcast on your platform of choice. But this comment was, how can I reach out, please? If you have any other ways that you want to reach out directly to us, you can email us slipstream@alphalive.co.uk for suggestions, comments. If you have something more in depth that you want to do is privately and anonymously, that's also fine.
Drop us a DM.
Drop us a DM on Alpha Live on Instagram as well is a good way, but I would say email slipstream@alphalive.co.uk, all one word. Next comment was, this was from a short that I posted years ago, but BUKC, as we all know it, the pinnacle of British motorsport. I'm disappointed Andrew wasn't here for this one because he would very much agree with me on this. I agree, it is the pinnacle of motorsport, full stop, as Henry will soon find out once again.
Only real ones win BUKC titles, says the 1999 BUKC champion.
To the 2016 BUKC champion.
Only the real OGs win in BUKC.
There we go. If you do want to watch some OG racing, that was live on Alpha Live just a week ago, and we've got Silverstone coming up soon, so go back and have a watch of that. Henry, this was to your unpopular opinion. Learn to race was the title of the video. The comment was, that's not a rule problem.
That's a you problem.
They said this was Laura B. French stealing that one, so I think that's
fair enough. You can have that one.
That's been shared far and wide. I very much enjoyed that, Henry. Thank you very much for that.
It's not a problem for me, it's a problem for you.
Exactly. Next one was mandatory earplugs in karting. What do you think? This was my unpopular opinion from last month. This is from, Phil Nib 8119. I never did it, and the karts were louder when I raced. It's not excessively loud, and it's important to hear the engine and how it changes, how the mixture changes, and how changes to the mixture affect it. Wow, today is a struggle day for me.
All aboard the struggle bus.
Yes.
Your driver, Piers Pryor.
I still disagree. I think you can hear the engine better with earplugs in, but we can agree to disagree there, Phil. So thank you very much for your comment. I do appreciate your comments, even though apparently my opinions are wrong. Next comment, mandatory earplugs again. I agree with Piers. One of the only ones that did.
I didn't disagree with you.
No.
I didn't disagree with you.
No,
I think more research needs to be done, and of course the karters will find a way to turn something good into something problematic.
Yes, of course. This person, which was Lee Ainsley 710, I agree with this. My son started karting 3 weeks ago and said to me that it might be best to wear earplugs, Dad, because I can still hear the go-kart in my ears when we're driving home. And that was my point exactly.
That is a very, very valid point.
And hearing the go-kart in your ears on the way home, that's the ears ringing. That is your body's protection of your ears, and over time that wears away. Yeah. So that was my point entirely. So at least someone agreed. Next comment was from the Bumpdraft. Reply to this comment for your Caption Competition entries. Or unpopular opinions. This was an unpopular opinion from someone. Not unpopular, but thoughts on the SKUSA getting rid of the pushback bumpers for Pro X30 and KA Master.
Right.
Henry, you've got more information on this than I do.
Okay, and I have done work for SKUSA, and I still potentially do work for SKUSA. I work out in the United States. Yes. Superkarts USA are removing pushback bumpers
For select classes.
For select classes. Do I think it's a good idea? I'd love to say yes. I'd love to say that it's going to be a good thing. I'd love to say that this year, without the pushback bumpers, we will start to see a change in driving standards and maybe some data given by SKUSA at the end of the year that other championships, the world of karting, can use to potentially stop pushback bumpers, full stop. I fear, however, that it's not going to work. And there's several reasons for this. If you're going to do away with pushback bumpers, you must ensure that you have the eyes on circuit, the CCTV systems, your own internal camera systems, the correct amount of judges of fact, the correct amount of qualified race directors, incident marshals, with a communication process that clearly conveys every single incident on track from first to last. If you can do that and go through every incident in a timely and efficient, qualified and correct manner to ensure that every single penalty that would have been applied with a pushback nose to cone for contact driving on circuit is still enforced, applied and seen, then great. I don't think that SKUSA, or in fact any championship in the world, has that level of off-track policing to make it work.
Devil's advocate, Club 100 gets about as close as you can.
Club 100 is rental kart racing of the highest level. However, it is a tick below, a long tick below the highest ranked, type of racing. The thing that makes me worry even more, and it's going to be exacerbated by the fact there's money on the line, big prize money in SKUSA. I have spoken to several drivers who will remain nameless because they've asked me not to say. They've said that they've gone out without the pushback bumpers and unintentionally they are crashing into each other a lot more. They don't mean to, but they are. Why? Because they've been trained over the last 10 years to have this at the front, this bracket, that's like a bubble. You have to protect that bubble. You can't pop it. So you've got to be very careful. That bubble has gone. And subconsciously, the drivers realise that bubble's gone and we can be more aggressive. And it's going to take a little while. They're crashing into each other a bit more. They've said it's going to be carnage. Yeah. And it's going to be added to the fact that there's money on the line. And also it tells me a lot that the drivers have got more faith in a bracket than they do in the human systems to police this kind of event. And I really, really hope for SKUSA's sake, because the karting in the United States has got so much going for it at the moment. It has got the potential to explode in a great way in the next couple of years. The coverage is great. The atmosphere is great. The whole drivers and the personalities creating stars in our sport is fantastic. If it goes wrong, it looks like it's just the Wild West, and all the good work will be undone.
It's a growing stock, isn't it? Karting, hopefully in the world, but in the US, especially, it's going well at the moment. And I hope, as you say, Henry, I hope that this goes well, because
I fear it won't.
Because you were also as well aware that we were involved in karting, and before pushback bumpers were even a thing. And there were problems that were solved by pushback bumpers.
Yeah, they were.
I was not a fan when it came in. I thought it was a bad idea, and it was the wrong way to go. However, it to a certain extent did kind of what it set out to do, with some, of course, obvious negatives where drivers get unfairly penalised.
Well, I mean, the percentage of drivers getting unfairly penalised is far outweighed by the percentage of drivers that get fairly penalised.
Which is why I actually think it's been a net positive.
Yeah, and if we go back, front bumper penalties, they are a necessary evil. Nobody wants them, but we have to have them because of the nature of the sport. Now, there are things that the sport can do that to circumnavigate the need for them. Number one, driving standards. But how do they put that in place without 30 different race directors? A camera on every single kart at every single corner to make sure that, every incident is fairly dealt with. Go back to before they came in. I was commentating at national racing in the UK. We did a year where everybody did standing starts. Even two strokes, road taxis would come to the grid, turn their engines off, wait for everyone to sit on the grid. There'd be a 5-second board. You start the engine, and before the clutch completely disintegrates, you go.
That didn't go well.
That didn't go well, but that's where Honda still have the standing starts as a result from that. Then we tried cameras, GoPro cameras, on every single kart in the Super 1 British Kart Championship, and that was a logistical, time-wise nightmare. So that was, at the time, the pushback bumpers, I think they came in 2016, was the first year they came in.
It was.
And it has solved a lot of problems. I really hope that SKUSA have got this right. I fear that it's probably a year or two too soon. They've got the idea right, but they haven't got the back end of the policing side of it, the personnel, the technology to make sure that every race is adjudicated as fairly as the pushback bumpers, creates a situation where, the race directors don't necessarily have to have their eyes everywhere because the pushback bumper does some of their job for them.
Yes, I think it remains to be seen how it goes. We are genuinely on the side of optimism. We would like to see it work, because I think if we could get to a stage where pushback bumpers don't exist, that is a better way of going racing. However, for now it works. I don't want to dwell on it too much longer. Potentially, another thing that's controversial, but maybe implementing some sort of AI, and I'm not one for slapping AI on everything, but some sort of artificial intelligence for a camera system, for example, may well be part of a different solution. Who knows? Again, please have your say on this, because we want to hear your opinion. If you've got even a better solution than we can come up with as well.
And you know what? I mean, I'm going to upset, my friends in America. Hello to everybody. But the narrative has suddenly changed in the USA, where last year the bump and run, the bump and run was the main problem. Well, with no nose cone penalties, the bump and run is suddenly nothing. Do you know what they're concerned about now? The Euro swerve. It's suddenly the biggest problem in karting is now the Euro swerve, which doesn't involve the nose cone at all, which it's not. It's well, I know it's Murica and it's entertainment, but let's think. $5,000 on the line. You're going into the last corner of a big SKUSA race in Pro X30, and there's the driver sat in front of you. For $5,000, you're going to put the bumper to him or her, and you're going to come away, and it's going to create more problems. Money will exacerbate it, but money is the great thing. The prize money is fantastic. Keep the prize money, police it properly.
Do you know what? I think that's a good point to end on that point. Last few comments, there were so many comments agreeing with your unpopular opinion, Henry, that I'm not going to single one out on its own, because it was you know what, I'll put a list. I'll scroll on the screen right now, all of the support you had, Henry. Again, there was no such support for my comment. And there was quite a lot of support for Andrews as well, actually, for his no jazzy
helmets.
Yellow. Well, not no jazzy helmets, but it was more distinctive, less intricate helmets. So, again, please do get involved. Comment on all of the videos. Comment on this podcast. The best ones, the funniest ones, the ones that give us the best talking points will be featured for next month. And that is the comments for this month. The Caption Competition. Last month, as we have just been through in the comments section, we had an entertaining one, didn't we, from our man at the BUKC. This month's Caption Competition. I had 3 options, 2 of which involved go-karts, but I stumbled across this one, which doesn't involve a go-kart, but involves Wilton Mill and a young kart racer from the UK, which you can now see on screen here.
It's Logan Rolfe, everybody.
Right, so Henry, a caption, please, to get the comments started.
Father's decision to not allow child to go to bathroom before race to avoid getting weight penalty almost backfires.
Andrew?
4 ice creams in one weekend have unexpected results.
I fear that my weekend has removed wit from my brain. Do you know what? I'll just let the comments section fill that one up. I'm going to stay out of that one. That's a good one. I hope you enjoy that one. As we've already discussed, the best comments from last month.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a look at that photo, Piers Pryor has spent the weekend on the... what you see in the photograph.
Do you know what,
so
Henry,
it's
there are things that are let's move on. That was the Caption Competition. Thank you very much. And we'll just do a roundup of what's coming up next to end the show. All we've got to do now is round off the show with the Cooldown Lap and a look ahead to what's coming up next month. As we've already discussed, Henry.
Yep.
We've got...
next weekend, Trent Valley Kart Club. No, it's not the first round of the club championship. They've got, is it a Challenge Cup?
Yeah, the
TVKC Challenge Cup.
Yes, I believe it's that.
Can't wait to be there. That's this Sunday.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And then we have so much. Do you know what? We've got so much coming up this month. Have a look on Alpha Live's YouTube channel.
Plenty of stuff.
Plenty of stuff. We've already discussed BUKC,
yes.
the mains, the drivers' champs, which will feature the both of us.
Excellent.
And of course, Andrew. And then we've also got so many different events. If you go on Alpha Live's YouTube channel, you can have a look on all of the pre-scheduled live broadcasts.
Yes.
So that will be good fun. Keep up to date with everything there. That only leaves me to say thank you to the absent Andrew Mather, who has had to go and do more important things than this lowly broadcast.
Keeping Molly happy is more important than anything.
It actually is, isn't it? Let's be honest. Karting is one thing.
Family is more important than anything else.
Yeah, thanks, Henry, for being a brilliant guest as well. Yes. Thanks, Luke Jones, for doing all behind the scenes. Wilton Mill for letting us go again. And no thanks to BA. You cancelled my flight, and it's meant that I've been a little bit not 100% today. But I'll be back in full force in April.
So here we go. Bumpdraft enemy list. British Airways, Donald Trump.
We'll leave it at that.